everyone, this is a quick look at the LEGO Marvel Studios Iron Man. This is set 76165, ages 18 and up, 480 pieces. It retails for around $60 to maybe even $70 in the US. It's a very awesome bust of LEGO's new kind of bust line. They have done a lot of Star Wars busts as well as art, but this is definitely one I knew I had to pick up. I wasn't a big fan of the TIE Fighter pilot, the LEGO Star Wars TIE Fighter pilot helmet, or the Stormtrooper helmet. I would like to pick up the Boba Fett helmet eventually, but I wasn't really in a rush because I wasn't a huge fan of how it came out, but I still think that that would be one that I would want to pick up. But this is the one that stood out to me the most. It's definitely one I knew I had to get. Before we get into the quick review, I do want to say subscribe, drop a like if you haven't, and let's get into it. So the mask itself and the small stand that you see over here are the only two things included in this set. Obviously, this is just titled Marvel Studios Iron Man, and I think it's a really nicely designed head, or helmet, if you will, or bust, whatever you'd like to call it. I do think there are some flaws with it, but I definitely think there's a lot of pros to getting this set. I've heard a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I've talked to complaining about the price point on this particular set, given that it is only 480 pieces. But we'll get into more of what I think the price to part ratio is after we get into the more detailed and closer look at the mask itself. Let me bring you in for a closer look. Here's a closer look at the mask itself. Now the pieces for the actual eyes are actually stickers. They are black slopes with these stickers on it, and these are the only two stickers actually included in this set. The other pieces are actually printed, but as you can see, the facial part of the mask's done in a very nice metallic gold. And then these pieces we'll get into in a minute. You might notice that they're a little bit different color than the actual normal gold here. And then the rest of kind of the cranium and the back of the head and a little bit of the cheek is done in a nice dark red to be accurate to Marvel's coloration for Iron Man and the comics as well. This does not actually flip up or anything like that. There's really not much you can do with this particular set. You do have the ability to angle these riot trooper shields done in a nice dark red. Not sure if LEGO intends for you to actually do that, but it is something you can do if you want, but they intend for you to keep them flush with the Nexo Knight shield done in a nice metallic gold, as I said, to match the coloration. Now, moving the camera down to take a look at the stand. Nothing too fancy. I have seen much better stands for sets that are on stands or that are not most UCS sets, but for busts themselves, this is kind of a very plain stand. Interesting build. I had a very enjoyable time actually building the head and the stand as well. As you can see, it just got the little nameplate for LEGO Avengers Iron Man. That was a print, as I said, and a nice 360 of the stand. It done all nice in a nice black with some slopes there. Nice and smooth, not studdy or anything. You just do have a little bit of studs available for you to put your own detailing on there if you wanted to. This bust is not actually able to be removed. Let me show you what I mean. If I flip this on the bottom, you can see it's done in a nice blue, but this is actually completely built into the helmet, so you can't actually remove it. But I find that okay. I mean, it is a pretty small set, as I said, for only 480 pieces. I'm not sure exactly why people would remove the actual helmet. Let me zoom back out for a better look. Zooming back out, you do have the ability to angle these two assemblies or pieces on the bottom to any which way you would like. As I said, I'm not sure if LEGO actually intends for you to do that, but it was just they're placed on ball joints just to get that little angle there. So it kind of gives you that nice shaping of the mask. Now, while we're on shaping, the one flaw I mentioned earlier that I did have with this mask is that if you look at it from the side, I'm not a big fan of these slopes going down into the mouthpiece here, or the mouth slot, or the facial slit, as Tony Stark calls it in the Iron Man movie. I believe that was from Iron Man 3. You do have the ability to kind of angle the facial slit like it's actually talking, which is a cool feature. I think it would be very fun. I think people would play around with that a little bit. Obviously, this never happened in the actual mask, but you do have the ability to do that if you would like. You can leave it down if you want, even if you wanted to. But as I said, I'm not a big fan of the slopes here. I think it was a good choice, but just how it meets right there, I'm just kind of looks a little bit tucked in, and it just, I know what they were trying to do, but like I said, that's just the one flaw I have. It just looks a little bit kind of strange there. But as I said, for 480 pieces, I think that they did a very nice job. Moving on to the side here, that is another printed portion there, so that was not a sticker, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of people have also been saying it's a little bit too studdy. I don't really think so. I mean, you have obviously some studs, as I said earlier, all around the thing. You do have some nice gold in detail, kind of spicing it up because there's a lot of dark red around here. So I think that the golden down the bottom really kind of ties it all together. You have four of these larger bits, or excuse me, three of these larger bits in the back here to just help the shaping to get it like that roundish type of shape. And as I said about the studs, just the same amount on that side and a lot on the top. I'll give you a view from the top. You can see you got the nice layering done very nicely there to kind of give you that roundish type of shape. And aside from that, that's pretty much it. As I said, you can't actually flip up the golden part. The mask itself, including the stand, is about 19 centimeters or 7.48 inches or 7.48 inches, and they do give you the dimensions on the box, but I measured it myself, including the stand. It is about 19 centimeters. So I think it is, I mean, in comparison to my hand, you can see my hand almost covers the entire thing, and in comparison to a minifigure that I just have lying around, which is the Mandalorian and Grogu, it's pretty big, obviously, compared to a minifigure, but on the price point, as I said I would talk about at the beginning of the video, I mean, for 50 to, or excuse me, 60 to maybe even $70 for 480 pieces, I I gotta say, it might be a little bit steep in some areas. I have seen it for 50, and at a Target near me, but those prices normally go within the 60 to 70 range, at least where I've seen. So, do I think it is a little bit overpriced? I would say I think it would rest solidly at 50, maybe even 40, in my opinion. I mean, for 480 pieces, but this is a very highly sought after set, and a lot of people really liked it. How would I rate this set? I think it's good. Do I recommend buying it? If you're a true Marvel fan and this isn't a play set or anything, this is really just to be collected, I would recommend getting it for a collector like myself. One thing I did forget to point out before we get to the box itself are these pieces were actually a light gray, I believe, with just the gold printing on the side of the 1x2 tile. So that's why they look like a different gold. I don't know if it'll actually show up in the camera. It almost looks like a little bit more yellowish gold than the rest of it. It was an interesting piece. I'd never seen them do that before, so that was definitely cool. And the other thing I did forget to point out is they do have these black kind of slanted pieces to represent kind of where the mask, there's no coloration in the mask, and we'll get to that once we take a look at the box. But that's pretty much it for the mask itself. Let me go ahead and show you the box art, and we'll wrap up the set review. The box itself is pretty interesting. As you can see, it is done in a longer version than the normal Lego boxes, as it's going this way instead of to the side. You see, you got the Lego symbol there, the Avengers symbol, nice shot of the mask itself, viewing it from the side, and you got all your information down here, piece count, part number, or set number, sorry, and the age limit. Got the nice logo up there of Marvel Studios Iron Man. Nice view of the mask from the side, view of the Lego symbol and the Avengers symbol yet again. And then on this side, you got another view of the mask from the other side. And then down here, they actually do give you some picture references to go by. So that's a view of the actual helmet and the one that you get there. Move the lights around here for you. And then you get a whole view of the Iron Man suit itself. And then that's where you get a exact front view of the mask looking directly at you with the dimensions on the side there. And it just says Marvel at the bottom there. Aside from that, pretty interesting box art. I'm really happy they actually include some images for you to reference. But let me go ahead and give you a view of this mask one more time, and I'll give you my final thoughts and wrap up the set review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I do hope you found this helpful. If you did, leave it down in the comment section down below. This was my quick look at Marvel Studios Iron Man, set 76165, 480 pieces, ages 18 and up, and retails for around $60 to maybe even $70 in the US. As I said, a very good collector's item for like Marvel fans or people who just like to collect Legos. Not a play set, as it is not intended to be. How would I rate this set? As I said earlier in the video, I think, as I said, for people who collect Legos and are not looking for playsets, that this is a good one. I myself am a huge Marvel fan and Lego fan, so this is definitely an awesome piece I knew, as I said in the beginning of the video, I had to get. And I have a nice place on it for. I have a nice place on my desk for it. I think it'll look really nice up there, and it's really a really when you once you have it in person, I don't think in video really does justice. Just looking at it right now in person, it's a really nice display piece. But how would you rate this set? Leave it down in the comment section down below. Do you like the set, and is it worth buying? Thank you all for watching. As I said, I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you watch my content and are not subscribed, I do encourage you to do so because it would help the channel a lot. Happy New Year. Stay tuned for more content coming up soon. Got some set reviews and my mock update coming very soon. Thank you all for watching, and remember, you can never have too much bricks. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep building.